welcome to part 3 of the Alien Pyramid tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, last time we had just finished on this slice here, so of course we're going to immediately head on to the next one. Start by taking a quick look at the obelisk here. In passing, remember this already has its own tutorial, so we're just kind of glancing at it. How are we doing this? I think we're going to start here right along the center line, along the middle, and go clockwise around the exterior first, and then do the interior chamber. The good news is I think we're going to finish off the interior chamber here today. As you can see, I mean, the outer and inner walls are closing in on each other, so it's going to have to stop at some point. And of course, remember the pyramid is symmetrical around the center axis, so we're only going to be taking a look at half of it in the video, but that's because the other half of the pyramid is exactly the same. Note we have little cutouts here. That might be a little hard to see. And of course, remember the red wool / coral is, of course, the green, or rather the lime green stained glass blocks. But here turned to red so they can be extra visible. Couple of cutouts there for those, and here's the other side of our center line. Of course, everything over there is just what we had looked at, you know, just in reverse order. Alright, let's go back here, and how was I doing this? I think we're going to take a look at the interior pylons first. Get the structure of those nailed down. Of course, once you do one of these, the other 7 are just the same. Like here, okay. Just the same. Take a quick look at it from below. Alright, and I think we're going to start here, looking out towards the front, and go clockwise again, and take a look at the suggested distribution of blocks in here for the wall filler. Of course, you've got your 3 concentric walls of glass, and behind that you have just variously scattered, mostly dark prismarine, but with hints of other blocks here and there for a little texture. Very nice effect, I think. But very difficult to do in tutorial form because of how irregular everything is. Usually I have nice symmetrical Roman builds, and the pyramid is indeed symmetrical also. It's just the inner filling here is not. That's why I said you don't need to get this exact how you see it. Just use this as a suggestion for how you might want to place the blocks. Alright, so there's our torch we started with. So let's go on to the next phase. Now that I've reiterated all of that, we'll just kind of clip on through it. Alright, exterior first, clockwise, just like so. And of course, it being a pyramid, each slice is going to contain less material than the previous one, so it should get quicker and quicker as we go. But we're not going to finish it today. I don't think. I'd be surprised. I think we're in for a part 4 on this one. Scanning around the back now. I went right past the center point. Now let's take a look at the interior. And we're now connecting the pylons together on this phase here. Let's kind of line up with our center torch there. So you can see from below here, we're connecting them all together now. So instead of 8 pylons, we now have 4, if you want to count them that way. This back part here is done. We're just building this section here and then connecting it right across the middle. Just like so. Like that. There, and there. Let's take a look at that from below. Now, as considering what the chambers might be used for, I pontificate a little bit about that last episode, and no one, as of time recording, had any ideas about it. Which I guess everyone maybe they're just playing the footage back with the audio muted, so they didn't hear any of it. But oh well. One possibility I forgot to mention was that maybe, and it's a really obvious, you know, considering how I'm dressed, it's kind of obvious. It could be a hyperbolic time chamber. Huh? Huh? No? Well, I mean, it could be some sort of time dilation chamber. Time could move very slowly inside here, or it could move very fast. Or perhaps it just moves at the normal rate. Who is to say? You have to ask the aliens about that. All right, so back here looking towards the front, let's scan around clockwise for the suggestion of the interior filler. Over the walls. But since nobody had any suggestions on the last one, then I guess... I mean, I was going to, fill in the time a bit with everyone's suggestions, but nobody made any, so, well... I guess we'll just look at the blocks in some amount of silence, I suppose. Since I ran through all my ideas last time, pretty much. All right, that brings us back around to the front. Let's go on, take a look at the next phase here. Detailing for the obelisk. Put down our marker torch. And go clockwise around the exterior. All right, I think we're on the other end of the center line right here. So let's take a look at now our 4 connected pylons. See, we've got some spacer filler blocks in the middle now. Right there. Just kind of scan around this. and take a look from below. Just hanging over a little bit with some obsidian. And now let's take a look at the suggestion for the interior filler blocks, facing forwards and going clockwise. Alright, there's our marker torch. And that's all there is to that one. Let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at the obelisk. We'll be finishing those up today, probably, I think. Alrighty, marker torch, somewhere around the center line. And we can see the interior and exterior just within 2 blocks of each other now. So we're getting really close. Couple of, 2-3 more phases. And we can start capping that room off. Now, which is going to be done the same way we did the floor, actually. It's just on the ceiling. Alright, torch on the central line at the back. Let's take a look at the interior pylons again. Just some simple detailing for that one. Let's just take a look at the one here in the middle. Do all 4 the same way. Let's come back to our starter torch and scan around clockwise for the suggested distribution of the blocks in the wall. Back to the start, that's all of that one. Let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at our obelisk here. Torch on the very obvious center line there. Complicated section to build right there. All right, and I believe this is center line coming through the back. Right there. Go on to the next phase. Let's take a look at this one right here. And that pylon with its simple detailing. Let's come back to the start, looking out at our obelisk, and go clockwise around the interior. All right, back to where we started. Let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at the obelisk here. Torch on the center point. And quite a lot to build there. Lower down, it's kind of getting messy because of these sections are all kind of squishing together on each other. And indeed, now we have just one block of space. In some places, no blocks of space between the interior wall and the exterior. I believe I warned you that I fit it very tightly. Right. Oh, center line torch here at the back. Let's take a look at the last detailing for the pylons. Once we put this little strip here on top, this little 3 by however long that is, those will be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like so. Do all 4 the same way, and all these interesting alien pylon, whatever they are used for, are finished. So now, of course, we're just doing a bit more of our walls. So let's look at some of the last patterning we have for this wall section here. Alrighty, that brings us around to the front. So let's go on to the next phase. Stopping off here at the obelisk for a moment. Torch on the center line. Let's scan around the exterior. We do have a note that block there. Air block. And you can see behind here, we're putting a sheet of glass for the ceiling. And of course, we're going to be doing the ceiling just like we did the floor. So, you know, if you had fun building the floor, you're going to have a lot of fun building the ceiling because it's the same as the thing. Minus the pylons, of course. So this phase will be a little bit easier, at least when it comes to that. Of course, if you didn't enjoy the floor, then you're probably not going to enjoy the ceiling very much either. But it does give a cool effect, so I think it's going to be worthwhile going through all the effort for it anyway. It's also a technique you can carry over to any other building, I should think, in the future. Note the air block right there where the torch was. All right, here we are at the back. A little air gap there. And let's just take a top-down view of this one, looking out towards the obelisks. So you can see here at this phase, what we're doing on the interior is you want to place down a big square of lime stained glass, just a big sheet of it right across the ceiling. And now we only have, behind that, we have 2 layers of suggested blocks to take a look at. Align ourselves with our starting torch. And scan around this clockwise. Only a few more phases that we have to do that. And then thereafter, we just have to focus on the exterior. So we'll see how high we get up on the pyramid today. We're at about 20 minutes in, so I don't know. We will have to see. If it starts going quicker, I may just extend. I may extend this out. And we'll finish it today, but we'll have to see. All right, back around to the front. Let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at the obelisk. It'll go quicker once we get those finished too. Torch there on our center line. Take a look. Let's ignore the chaos behind us there for the moment. Let's focus on the exterior and get that established first. No, that looks like the other end of the center line there. So let's get some perspective on what we got to do now. I think a top-down view would be pretty good for this one. But you can see here, the suggested block scattering. Again, you can place this in any other random scattering. So whatever you think would be best. First, let's establish these outer walls here, our last 2 sections here. So looking outwards, let's scan around the perimeter of that and get that established. And then we'll take a kind of a closer look in on the blocks we have laying on the sheet. All right, that's back around to the front. Let's zoom out a bit. Let me see if I can kind of center it. Get it in kind of tight. There we go. All right, so I'm going to scan from looking out this way towards the obelisks. Going to kind of just slowly pan down here for, you know, the suggestion of the randomized placement of the blocks. Don't worry about, you know, getting it in these exact positions. Just get it in something resembling that. And it'll be quite good enough. All right. So let's go on to the next phase. Torch there, exterior first. Although in a couple of phases, there's only going to be exterior. Well, several phases anyway. A lot of work to do still. Alright, so here note we do have overhanging block here and an air gap behind it. Alright, there's the other end of it. So let's go on to the next part, which as you can see in the middle, you want to lay down a really big slab of glass right across and a big square. And let's take a look now at the one of the last sections of suggested patterning here. We're almost out of that. Aren't you glad? Almost done with the randomized blocks in the walls and everything. I think those are some extra blocks back there, if I had to guess. I tried to remove all the extraneous blocks from the building, but I think a couple of places I might have missed some. All right, let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at the obelisk here. Let me see, torch center line. Clockwise around the exterior. Wait. Yes, okay. For a moment there, I thought clockwise was the other direction. Oh, goodness. It's been a long day. All right, here we are on the other end. And next we have another one of these to put down. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the edge clockwise around the pyramid first, what remains of the edge anyway. And then we'll take a more top-down view of the filling in the middle. All right, now let me try and fit as much as I can into the frame here. That looks good. And let's just take a scan over it. As you can see, you know, highly randomized, mostly dark prismarine, with a sprinkling of the other blocks. There, whole thing at a glance. Let's go on to the next phase, which is going to be an easy phase. Right there. Quick look at the obelisks. Marker torch on the center line. And for this one, as we go, I don't think there's much profit in trying to take an interior view on this one, because as you can see, you're taking your last layer of glass, your third outer nested layer of glass, and slabbing the whole thing over, and then the room is going to be completely sheathed around in 3 layers of glass to give a nice foggy effect on the interior. Although, I mean, it looks a lot better if you have connected glass textures and shaders or something, but still, I mean, even in regular Minecraft, it should still look pretty good. All right, here we are on the other end. Right there. So for the rest of this one, we're just going to kind of take a top-down view. Of this one, you can see you just have a scattering of the same wall filler blocks here and there, just a couple. Not a whole lot. Let's take a view down that way, this way, that way, and this way. Those are the blocks shoved in the corners, so they're really not that important. All right, quick look at the obelisk. Torch on the central line, and let's take a look at the exterior, and we'll cover the chaos on the inside last. As you can see here, the room is fit very tightly to the outside of the pyramid. At the upper levels anyway. Lots of space down below, you know, well, pyramid, it, you know, goes without saying. But I did try and cram the biggest room on the inside with the available volume that I had, so it was a good compromise. Alrighty, torch back here at the back. And now let's take a top-down view of this entire sequence. So you can, well, you know what we're doing with this. It's a bunch of scattered dark prismarine over the surface of the glass. And good news is this is the last time you're going to have to do this for this building. Aren't you happy? Alright, so let me try and fit as much of it in the frame here, make it as big as I possibly can. Let me turn that off. I've done that earlier. So let's, we're looking forward there. So let's just kind of slowly scan on back. Right across that. Alrighty. And let's go on to the next phase. You can ignore all of that in there for the moment. Quick look at the obelisk. Torch on the center line. And let's scan around. Let's look at the exterior first, and then the interior. But for the interior on this, you don't have to replicate this pattern whatsoever. You can slab this over entirely with whatever the black block is you're using. Of course, I'm using obsidian, but if you're using, you know, black stone or black concrete or some other dark block, just use that and cap the entire room off. You know, you could just slab this entire level off with the black blocks too if you wanted, and give you a floor for, you know, whatever, all the extra space you'll have at the top of the pyramid. But anyway, let's take a look at the exterior and keep going on that. But the good news is, after you put this slab on that room, the interior is going to be complete. You know, pyramids being, you know, pyramidal, much of the bulk of the building is also going to be complete as well. We've just got the top part to put on it. It's going to get less and less and faster as we go. I think we're coming up on, you know, 37 minutes, I think, thereabouts. So we'll have to see if we can get it all in or not. I don't want to cram. We'll just have to see if there's going to be enough time today. Alrighty, torch on the other end of the center line down here. You can see this thing is, you know, coming together into a pyramidal point as well. And we'll just take a quick look at this. Like I said, you don't have to make this little tessellated pattern. Just slab the entire thing off with whatever the black block is you're using, the big square, and that's all there is to it. This is only that way because the interior is has optimized filler in it. All right, quick look at the obelisk. Torch on the center line. So like I said, the interior is done. From here on out, there's nothing on the inside to build. So we only have to scan around half of the exterior. And it should start going pretty quickly now. And I'm probably not going to end up saying very much because there's nothing really left to say. Now that our chamber is closed off, that we have no idea what it was used for. It's, you know, aliens don't tend to leave instruction manuals. Even if they did, it would be an alien language, so, you know, still wouldn't be of any use to you, unless it was all like pictures. All right, torch here at the back, and that's actually all that there is on that one. So let's go on to our next phase, where we're getting ready to finish off these obelisks here as well, and several, well, half-dozen phases. They will be finished off, and we'll be done with them too, and we'll only be focusing on the pyramid exterior, which we're taking a look at now. Alright, torch on the central line there, and that's all there is for that phase. But while we're here, let's actually land for a moment and go back inside oh, never mind, I forgot. It's all red wool. There's nothing to see in here. It's too dark. Never mind, sorry. For some reason, I thought it would be glass and look cool, but I should know better than that. Oh, there's Mr. Sheep again. How are you doing, Mr. Sheep? Are you enjoying the pyramid? Take that as a no. And we'll rest of the tutorial. And so it's just what I get for asking sheep. And I just look at you and wander off. All right, torch on the center line. And clockwise around the exterior. That's as soon as the obelisks are complete, that's pretty much going to be our pattern for the rest of the video anyway. Let's see how far we get. We're up pretty high now. All right, torch on the other ends. Go on to the next phase. Just about finished with these obelisk things. No idea what they're used for. It's like just like the pyramid itself. Inscrutable alien technology. And this phase is pretty easy, actually. A lot of it, except for these little intersections here, are just straight runs of obsidian, except for the corners. But they're pretty straightforward, too. There, torch on the other end, so let's go on to the next phase. Quick look at obelisk here. Almost finished. I think this is the penultimate phase for those. Alright, torch right there. Bit of glass, and then a straight run of obsidian right here to the corners. Intersection there. Otherwise, it's a straight run of obsidian all the way down the pyramid, except for the four corners. And there's the other end of it. Alright, next phase. Finish off your obelisk here with just 4 blocks of obsidian or whatever you used to top it off there. And your obelisk are going to be complete. So from this point onward, starting right here, we're only going to be focusing on the exterior of the pyramid. That's all there is that's left. I mean, I say that, and you know, that looks very big. Very, very big. So we'll have to see. See how far we can get. I think we're around the 45-minute mark. Lots of straight runs of dark prismarine on this one. Oh. Let me get my pointer torch back. I like using the torch because I think this blocks too much of the view. Is why I always have the torch here. But you know, this lets me still point at things, but taking up less screen real estate. Alrighty. There we are, that's half of it, so let's go on to the next phase. Torch on center line here. 3 blocks of obsidian, then a straight run of dark prismarine. Right down to here. And we got our corners to build. And once you do one of these corners, the other 3 are the same, really. I think the pyramid actually has a 4-way symmetry now, at this point. Now that we've gotten past the interior room, it's all completely 4-way symmetrical to each other. But I'm still going to look at half of it as we go. It's not going to take that much longer to look at a half than it is a quarter. All right. Phase here. You can see right across the middle, it's obsidian straight across, except for the corners. Let's take a look at the corners. And the only thing really different about the corners is going to be the alien lettering. Otherwise, they're pretty repetitive too. And there we are. Go on to the next phase. Center line. Dark prismarine straight across the front. On all the four faces, so let's take a look at the corners here. They're the only challenging part. And then a straight round of dark prismarine. And then the next corner. And then a straight round of dark prismarine again. And then let's go on to the next phase. Let's see. Center line somewhere here. Wonder why that's... Oh, we got some horizontal alien lettering to build here. So we got some doubled obsidian in some places. And that's going to be the center there. So let's go on to the next phase. Let's see, center there. And yeah. All right, there's right across from our torch over there, so that's the center line out the back. And let's go on to the next phase. Alrighty, establish our center here again. And there we go. All right, next phase, torch on the center line. And clockwise we go. And there we are. There's a sequence. So let's go on to the next phase and do it all again. Well, not quite all. Just straight run of obsidian right across the front there, and of course on all the four sides, so we only really need to focus in on the corners here. Straight run of obsidian into the corners. And then again, another straight run of obsidian. Alright, let's scoot on over to the next phase here. Torch on the center line, straight run of dark prismarine across. And enter our corner here. Alright, straight run of dark prismarine, and another identical corner. And then another straight run of prismarine across the back and the other side. Alright, next phase. Center line. Now we're going to have a double span of obsidian here at the front. 4 a ways. For what? 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. And then another 3. And then we've got our corner again. And then the same numbering for that there. And then another corner. And then the same thing across the back. There. Alright, next phase. Harder to find the center line here. Should be there. Yeah, that lines up. So dark prismarine across the front. And let's look in here on the corners. That looks like extra back there, but we'll have to see. Alright, and then... Alright, next phase. I'm making a good bit of progress. Coming up on an hour, though. You know, I think we might just be able to fit it all into part 3. If I go longer than what I would typically go for. But fortunately, since there's not a whole lot for me to say, I think we can do that. Usually the limit is how long I can talk for. But I can look at blocks a lot longer than I can talk, so I think that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and power through it and finish the alien pyramid today. Alright, straight run of dark prismarine, and another corner. Right there, and straight run prismarine across the back. Right there. Alright, next phase. Torch on center line and scanning. Yeah, we got some sea lanterns now. A little hidden lighting to the pyramid. right. Next phase. No, okay, that's different. Sorry. Thought I might have messed up the slices for a moment, but yeah, this is the next level. So starting here and scanning. After so many phases of pyramid, they all start to look the same. All right. Next phase. And scanning clockwise. All right, next phase. Yes, that's the good thing about a pyramid. Each phase is getting shorter and shorter from the previous one. So just dark prismarine across the front from corner to corner. And we'll take a look at the corners and then straight runs of prismarine. All right. And then all right. Next phase. Same deal, just stack the prismarine up another block level, only the corners are different. You know, because of the alien lettering. Not sure what it says, you know. I'd be surprised if it says anything because I just made it randomized. Stuff I thought looked good. It shouldn't actually say anything. But who knows? Perhaps it's the alien recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Or an alien espresso recipe. I'm not sure why it involves food, but... Alright, let's go on to next phase here. Prismarine again, straight across the front and all the sides. Stack those up and we'll take a look here at the corners. Pretty simple design for the corners of this level. And there you are with that. Alright, let's go on to the next phase. I think we're a little over an hour now, but I think that we are going to... I don't know how many phases are left, a lot. But we're going to go ahead and put it all into part 3, I think, so we can wrap the series up. 3 is a good number. I've always threatened to make the 10-part tutorial series, but it's not going to be this day. It's going to be for something else. I don't even want to know what building that is. Alrighty, torch on the center line. Let's go on to the next phase and do it all over again. Mostly obsidian on this phase, I think. Except for the corners. Right. Next phase. Let's see, center line ought to be there. And there we are. That's already half of it. So let's go on to the next one. Yeah. Prismarine just gets stacked up again to a second level. So let's take a look at the corners here. The corners are pretty simple on this phase here. Just like that. Like that. And like that. All right, I'm not going to bother to mark the center line here. Dark prismarine straight across the front. Let's take a look at the corners. There, then dark prismarine again, and to the other corner. And dark prismarine again, and you know the drill. I don't think there's much profit in continuing to mark the center line along here, so we're just going to start roughly along the center, wherever, somewhere around there. Around front anyway. And start our scanning. Save a little bit of time. Alright, straight run of obsidian into the other corner. And then along the back too. Okay, so next phase over here. Obsidian again. Let me maybe mark this one. That one. And then there's one. 7 for that. And then over into the next corner. And then along the back there. All right. Next phase. Dark prismarine again. Not much of it though. Mostly building corners. We're going to be building less and less of the faces and more of the corners until they just all squish together at the top. Because that's going to be a lot of faces left yet to get through, I think. If I had to guess, it's at least a good 20 minutes probably. So I'll make this a little longer than usual, but I think it's worth it to get it all into 3 parts. No real need to make a 4th video if we really don't have to. Alright, center line's probably somewhere around there. Dark prismarine again, just a block shorter on either side. And then the corner detailing. Dark prismarine again, and corner again. All right, and maybe to help fit this in to save a bit of time. Let me get a little perspective here. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see that the corners are they have, you know, they're the same. So if we divide this building into quadrants, 4 parts, you know, that one, this one, that one, and that one, they are all the same. So if we landed somewhere around, you know, somewhere around here, and then somewhere around, I think, somewhere around there, we ought to be able to divide the pyramid into 4 parts. So you can see that we're just rotating what we build each time. See? So as we go for the last part of the pyramid here, there's not any profit in taking a look at the entire sequence. So I'm going to really take a look at the quadrant, and I'm going to, you know, we'll probably dispense with marking out the center line too, because it's not really relevant anymore. So we're just going to take a look at the corners. I'm going to take a look at one corner really closely, because by this point in the pyramid, you have a lot of experience building these patterns by now, so I really think you only need to see this once. Right here. Because you know that all you're doing is you're just, you know, building the same thing back down there. All right, I will take a quick top-down view, though, just in case you need that. And then we'll take a look at the corners, just to expedite the process here a little. There we go. We'll build the other 3 corners the same way. Just rotate them 90 degrees as you go. Right there. Quick top down. And we'll focus in on the corner. Right there. All right. Next phase. Quick top down. Focus in on the corner. All right. Next phase. Quick top down. Focus in on the corner. All right, next phase. Top down. Focus in on the corner. All right. Next phase, quick top down. Focus in on the corner. I do believe we're placing our last little block of dark prismarine there in that section. All right. Nope, I'm wrong. There's more. Next phase, quick top down. Another block of dark prismarine. Probably the last one, though. Okay, like so. Next phase. Quick top down. Focus in on the corners. And the corners, you can see, are now all squishing into each other. So if you keep track of your center lines here, which I'm not marking, but you know, I don't have to. You can see where all the center lines converge now. We're so high up on the pyramid, you can see how everything is coming to a nice, satisfying, pointy conclusion, which is, you know, what you would expect from a pyramid. Unless it's like a stepped pyramid. I mean, you know, then you kind of get screwed. Because it just stops. All right, next phase, quick. Top down, focus in here on the corners, at least from the oblique angle. just like so. Next phase, quick top down. Focus in on the corner. Right there. Next phase, quick top down. Focus in on the corners. Well, I mean, yeah, the corners are pretty much disappearing. That's all. It's all converging now. Like so. Home stretch now, next phase. Top down, focus in on, I guess, a quarter of it. No sense calling it a corner anymore. Right there, simple sequence. Repeat that and rotate it each time you do. Next phase. Top down. And focus on right here. All right, next phase. Quick top down. Getting very square now. It's like so. Next phase, quick top down. Not too many left to go. I can almost see the end down there. I think it's just a little bit out of render range, but we're getting close. Alrighty. Next phase. Top down here. And kind of, scan around the apex here a bit. Alrighty. Next phase, quick top down. Oh, that's really easy. It's just it's all obsidian, big square, a bit of glass in each corner right there. That's all there is to it. Next phase, quick top down. There, glass in the corners, obsidian, emeralds, and spacer blocks. Alright. Next phase, quick top down, glass in the corners, emeralds all around, and a spacer block. Next phase after that was 8 glass blocks and a sea lantern. Next phase after that, another 8 glass blocks and another sea lantern. And here, put one last glass block right on top of here for your pyramidion. And once you have done that, your alien pyramid will be complete. So I hope you have enjoyed the alien pyramid tutorial. It's really not like any other building I've tried to do as a tutorial before, but I do hope you enjoy it and find a spot for it in your world. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.